Coach Silverfield.
Obviously disappointed with today's result. Poor execution in all three phases and not good enough. I just left the locker room and talked to our guys. We've got to get better. It always will start with me, but we've got to find a ways to execute. Obviously, turnovers will kill you. We're at a fumble on the 6-inch line and then a fumble when you reverse the field backed up and put your defense in a bad spot. We got to find a way to continue to make plays on the ball in defense, find a ways to get turnovers ourselves there. And then special teams, we've got to find ways to execute and be a little bit more explosive there. So all three phases have a lot of work to do, not our best effort. We got to go back to the drawing board and figure some things out here and there, especially with the ball security, because that's been back-to-back weeks. And that certainly gives us no chance. Talking in the locker room to the guys, I said, look, we use the mantra all in. And if there's ever a time that we need everybody to buy into the way we do things day in and day out with our plan, the process and our culture, it's now or never. And our guys, obviously frustrated, disappointed, angry as they should be, but they held their heads high and understood what we need to do. And we'll find a way. And I believe in this group more than anybody else. And I know we'll figure this thing out.
Terry and then Frank.
Hey, Coach, I know it's got to be disappointing. 2 weeks in a row, you have a multi-score lead and not being able to hold on to it. So what do you say to your guys to get them over the hump, knowing that they can get there, but actually closing out the deal?
Yeah, we talk about having focus for, 60 minutes of a game, 4 quarters. I don't know necessarily think it was that. We just got to execute better this week. I think last week, the ebbs and flows of the game. But this week, obviously, we talk about when you turn the ball over at that point and you don't give yourself the opportunity to, one, go up when we fumble on the 6-yard line, 6-inch line, and, just kind of ways to make plays. And that's the biggest thing that I didn't see today. I'm not going to sit here and say, we could have done this and could have done that. Last week it was 100% on me, and I've got to find a way to get better. And guess what? This week I got to continue to find a way to get better. But we need to execute better. Plans there in place. We got to find ways to make plays on the ball and defense. And like I said, own the football on offense.
Frank and then Isaac.
Ryan, I know last week, Sean Dykes and Calvin Austin, the majority of the catches. In his first drive, you had 4 receivers catch a ball in that first drive. Did it just play out that way, or were you guys making an emphasis on trying to get some other guys involved?
Yeah, they rolled coverage to Calvin. So they played those are watch. They played a cover 2 deal where they rolled over him and pressed the corner and played a safety over top, which we figured. So we had some thoughts for how we need to execute against it. And just like a lot of games, right? We've talked about this before. There'll be games where Sean Dykes has 8 catches and other games where he has 1. We're going to, obviously we want to attack a defense. If they're rolling coverage to those guys and doing different things, then we have to find other guys that have to step up and make plays.
I see you went with Rodriguez Clark early on the ground game. Was that something that, because he showed in practice, or was that just you thought he might have been a better running back against this defense?
We trust Rodriguez Clark to carry the football, but also Brandon Thomas put the ball on the ground again. So it's 2 fumbles by our young freshman back-to-back weeks. It doesn't matter his age. We've got to own the football. And it doesn't matter how good of a back he is. If we can't hold on to it, we don't give ourselves a chance.
Thank you.
Isaac?
Hey, Coach. Calvin came up a little hobbled there late in the game. I know he stayed in, but how was he in the locker room after the game?
More than anything, just frustrated, angry. He loves his Memphis football team. He bleeds blue, and he's frustrated, and rightfully so. But from a health standpoint, I think he'll be fine, but that's up for further evaluation.
Evan.
Ryan, speaking on the injury front, we know Austin Myers, Isaac Ellis, and Gabe Rogers also didn't play. Do you have an update on their status?
Yeah, we're going to assume that Austin Myers will be done for a good, significant future. Unfortunately, and Isaac Ellis, it will be day-to-day, and then same with Gabe Rogers.
And Austin was injured again from last week, correct?
Austin Myers wasn't. Yes, that was an injury. He didn't travel with their team this week.
Gotcha. And then the second question for me, with the fumbling issues, you said you consider anything, consider where you guys are at this point. Would you guys consider maybe a change in running back, or just kind of, tell the guys, hey, we have to own the football, or is any option on the table now for this week?
Oh, the problem is we've had 4 different people fumble the ball. So, I didn't want to get to the point where we're rotating 5 backs, but we did last year, and it's disappointing. Let's call it what it is. If none of them can own the football, then we'll go in empty sets and just throw the ball every darn play. But look, we're going to practice. We harp on it, Evan, and I'll continue to push it. We talk about it every huddle. We're just not executing it. And, you know, I've got great faith in our backs. Look, they're all young men that care, and they're going to run their tail off. We all know they run hard. I don't doubt that at all. And the ball security issue is just one of those things that we've got to find a way to get fixed. You got to harp on it better in practice. I think we've got to continue to find ways to make it right. I mean, it's Brandon's had two, right? We know Asa Martin had one the first game. Colin Watkins had his on the 6-inch line, right? The quarterback had one last week. Just we've got to be better at it. And the only way I know how to improve is, you know, continue to harp on it more at practice and make it even a major, more point of emphasis if we can.
And then last thing, time of possession for the defense. Obviously, last week it was a concern with them running the ball as well. Are you concerned now with the defense kind of, you know, not being able to get off the field, or is it just, again, you attribute it to teams just running the ball, keeping the clock going, and just, you know, something you guys have to address now this week?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of things. Yeah, sure. I'm concerned that we need to find ways to get off the field better as a defense. That's part of it. They were also a huddle team that was really snapping the ball really around the 5 to 9 second mark as an offense. But we've got to do a better job of getting, you know, some 3 and outs and getting some stops. You know, we need to find ways to get turnovers on defense. And it always come down to, right, I talked about making plays on the pass game, but ideally, if you don't stop the run, the time of possession will certainly be in their favor. And then as an offense, right, you got to find ways to execute. You can't go 3 and outs. Tempo is great and all, but if you're going 3 and out, then it's not as effective, obviously. So the time of possession is what it is. I always look at what the final score should be, but concerning just really when our snap counts and rep counts get high, but we got to find a way to get off the field.
Thank you.
Terry.
Hey, Coach, we're not used to Memphis fair catching kickoff returns. And second question is, when do you expect your field goal kicker back?
Look, with Cam Fleming, you know, their kicker was kicking very high kickoffs. So the hang time was there. Obviously, the distance wasn't on some of them. This was Cam's first game, obviously, with Gabe Rogers being out as a kickoff returner. And, you know, I always say this, if you fair catch every kickoff return, you're in the top 15 in the country. So it's part of it. So we're just, yeah, we're probably conservative there, but for good reason. The wind was swirling down there on the field as well. And then what was your next question, Terry?
Your return of your regular pace kicker.
Yeah, that's a good question. I like I've told you guys before, I'm not trying to sound funny. I don't know how to judge a kicker's injury. Hopefully he'll be back until that time, and Joe Doyle we trust, and then Noah Grant will obviously handle the kickoffs.
Thank you, Coach Silverfield.
Thank you, guys.